I am I'm sitting here having one of those conversations that I have with myself about society and social responsibility and how we're supposed to live together as human beings. I was watching a video from someone else explaining why they stopped being conservative. An American conservative, before someone starts. Whatever. Anyway. I live in England. And I am appalled every year in this country we have a list of people who are the most vulnerable members of our society who die because of weather-related issues. So by that I mean old people die because they're too cold in winter in Britain. And I was thinking about it. I am appalled and angry about that. I have been ever since I saw the first report. And then I have conversations with people of my age group who are ostensibly the people that should be running the country at this point. We are of the age. We are in the age bracket of financially and physically contributing, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We are now adults, so that's what we're doing. We're contributing members of our societies. And these people, some of them have issues with socialism. And I was doing the maths. I was doing the mathematics. So, in this country in particular, in Britain, you can and do become a contributing member of society. And by that I mean everyone is a contributing member of society, but I mean financially to the economy of the country. By the age of about 16 to the age of 65 or 72, you are a taxable member of society. 18 is more than likely when you will. So whatever we do, however we play the maths, that's at least 50 years of your life where you are pouring money into the economy of the country. 50 years. More often than that, it's more than that. More than 50 years of your life is spent giving to the economy of the country. So you either pay taxes, which is up to 40% of your income per week or per month, depending on how you work. And then, after that, you spend. You spend on rent or mortgage, if you're lucky enough to have a mortgage. You spend on food. You spend on transport. You spend on entertainment. You spend, and all of that is money fed into the economy, helping keep the country that you're a part of going. To say that the people that have spent at least 50 years of their lives and are now at a point in their lives where they can no longer physically at least contribute to the country, so they are retired, as they should be, as we all hopefully one day will be. To say those people are societal burdens after over 50 years of contributing to society, to have nothing in place to protect them after they spent more of their lives giving to our society, to have nothing in place that ensures that they are safe and are able to enjoy rest in the rest portion of their lives. You've spent, by the time you are 60 something, 70 something, you have spent the largest proportion of your life giving in some way, shape or form to the society in which you live. I'm not talking about societal outliers here. And there's a percentage of the population in any part of the world that is a societal outlier. People who do not work and do not want to work, or the contribution that they make to society is deliberately disruptive. Those people exist. They will always exist. I'm talking about the average person, which is the largest percentage cap of any society. The average person works, contributes as much as they can, as much as it is in their mental acuity, in their physical acuity, in their emotional acuity, in their psychological acuity. People spend the largest chunk of their lives pouring into their society financially, because this is what it's really about. We're talking about money. So you get taxed for everything. You have a mobile phone contract, that's you pouring into the economy of the country in order for you to call people. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying, I'm listing these things to give an example of the glass. I bought that. The water, I paid for that. The dress, I bought that. This camera that I'm recording this on, I paid for that. Everything that we do in this country, it has money attached to it. Money coming out of your own pocket as a person, going into the pocket of someone else, and being recycled through the economy of the country. So then why can we not function or create a system that acknowledges that even after you retire, or before you become a, quote, useful member of society, which is literally before you can be taxed. Why don't we have a system in place that says this is the safety cushion for you? Why is that considered socialism when it's actually quite practical? Why can't we have a very robust healthcare system and social care system that makes sure that people are able to contribute to the utmost of their ability? We know that people who are very qualified for their jobs, whatever the jobs are able to do better jobs, which incurs greater economic growth for them and subsequently for the country. Now, why can't we see that that is logical as well as moral? Why is that an argument? Why is it illogical to have in place a system that says old women shouldn't be freezing to death in winter in Britain, when we know ever since this island was in existence, in winter it gets so freaking cold that you need to have the heating? Why don't we have a plan in place that says heating is actually nationally owned, gas is nationally owned, rather than these various companies that have their own tariffs? Why is water not nationally owned? Why is everything that is to do with the well-being of members of society not nationalized? So that there is a set tariff, a set amount of money that we pay every month. Note, I'm not saying we do not need to pay for these things. What I'm saying is there needs to be a cohesive payment system that feeds directly into the economy rather than into the economies of potentially other countries. Because some of these companies are owned internationally. So that money is not even coming to us. It's not benefiting us. And while we're on the subject of benefits, percentage-wise, the people that The idea that as long as you are okay, it doesn't matter that anyone else be okay doesn't work in any society. Society doesn't function on individualism. We know it doesn't work because we have America, which is currently devolving, where capitalism, which encourages an extreme level of individualism, is destroying that country. We can see it. We have a working case study that says that that doesn't work. And we know for a fact that complete communism and complete socialism, without a system that says, no society can function on a complete this-ism. We need to make it work for everyone in order for it to work for you as an individual. It needs to work for everyone. If you're so married to the idea of individualism, why are you in a country? Why are you in a society? Why not be by yourself? Because you know it doesn't work. You need things from other people, which also logically means that those other people have to be willing to give you those things. And the best way to make sure that those other people are willing to give you those things is to make sure that they are okay. If they're okay, you get to be okay. If you're okay, they get to be okay. Society. It's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. We're so married to the idea of hyper-intellectualism and like, this doesn't make sense to me, so I'll have nothing to do with it, or these people are attacking me, so I need to destroy them, that we're completely missing the point. The point is we all have to live together. We all have to breathe the same air, so the air needs to be clean and breathable. We all need food, so we need to make sure that there's a constant food supply. We all need shelter, so we need to create a system that allows for us to be able to afford shelter. Like, the economy can't determine how people live. People have to be able to determine what the economy is. The economy is a non-sentient entity. We are sentient. We're alive. Everything should be in service to human beings. Human beings cannot be in service to something that's non-sentient. If the non-sentient thing is disruptive, you change it or you destroy it and create a new thing that works for the human beings that it's supposed to serve. That's it. The fact that this is an argument is confusing. It is confusing. It's isolating, and it is why system after system, country after country is devolving. Whatever conversation you can have about evolution, whether you believe that we came from amoeba, whether you believe that God made us, whatever you believe, you have to acknowledge that societal evolution is a fact. And healthy societies evolve towards a greater recognition of each other's humanity. Children weren't always considered human beings in European society. They were chattel. Now they have rights because they are human. They are sentient. Women weren't considered human beings in Western society. Not fully. That conversation... all of this is moving forward. All of it. The recognition that you need to be more inclusive in your practices as a company, as a society, in order to make sure that people who are disabled can contribute fully to society, therefore opening up millions of people to be potential earners, which then feeds money into the economy of a country, thereby ballooning how much we have to work with. I'm having this conversation by myself because it's full here. It's frustrating here. It's watching the news and hearing people lie to everyone that it's against your best interests to have a robust system that ensures the safety of the stranger, the refugee. Not recognizing the fact that the difference between you and a refugee is a set of circumstances you have absolutely no control over. You want the most vulnerable people in your country to be safe, because that means that you, who are not currently vulnerable, will always be safe. All the arguments that we have about increasing levels of inclusion, increasing the security and the stability of the individual that is the most vulnerable, the child, the person with incredible needs, the person who has come from a country that's war-torn or an economy that's collapsed, the person who has no control over her womb, all those things, the person who has skin color happens to come from a society of people that have been persistently oppressed, making sure that those people of faith, those people of culture, whatever, are completely protected, ensures that those rights, those protections envelop the already protected members of society. If someone beneath you all of a sudden gets a cushion to stand on or a ladder to stand on, automatically you're shoved up. Your life gets better when someone under you's life gets better. They push you up. They don't move past you. They force you up. The fact that you don't understand that, I'm not talking to people who agree with me. I'm talking to people who don't agree with me. The fact that you don't understand that it is safer for you, it is better for you, that someone worse off than you does better. The fact that that is beyond your comprehension does not change the fact that that is true, and that it is incredibly sad that the solution to your problems is sitting right in front of you, and your bigotry is killing you before you can reach it. I'm not done working it through, but I am certainly done recording, because I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I never post them. But I had to get it out. It's so frustrating. We're currently having a heat wave. And there's a man sitting outside starving, and I'm personally concerned about how I'm going to afford my bills, which have quadrupled. But my pay, the amount of money I'm making, is exactly the same as it was, which means that my having a home is under threat. My being able to pay for the water that I'm drinking is now under threat. All of these things. And I was okay. Like, the difference between you and the person who's worse off than you is a set of circumstances you have absolutely no control over. What you do have control over is who you put in charge of the household. This country is a household. Every country is a household. You want people who are incredibly competent at their job to be the ones running it. You don't want a political party. You want someone who's actually an economist running the economy. You want someone who's actually worked in education running the education department. You want someone who's actually worked in healthcare running the Ministry of Health. You want people who know what they're doing running things. You don't want people who happen to belong to the party that you want to affiliate with. You want competence at the highest levels and the lowest levels of government, because we are here because of the combination of our own bigotry and the desperate incompetence of centuries of governance. Centuries. I'm going to press stop because we could be here for hours. People shouldn't be dying from cold in a country that knows that it gets cold. I mean, like, it should. Train tickets shouldn't be £100 at 1 hour, like at this time, and £16 at another. If you can sell a train ticket for £16, train tickets should be £16. Like, like none of this makes sense. And it should. Like, countries should make sense. We can be nonsense, you and I. But government? Like, that needs to make sense. And society? It needs to be safe. Like, you should be able to tell your government you're displeased with what they're doing, and the idea that any government can take away your right to do that. That should be terrifying. And that should instantly mean that that government never gets to govern again. I think it might be the heat making me all chatty. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna go. I have to do a self-tape, and I just wanted to say things out loud so they're not in my head. People shouldn't be dying of cold in a country that knows it gets cold. Heating shouldn't cost that much. And buildings shouldn't be standing empty when there are people sleeping on the streets. And or people wanting to buy property. Like, every single space that can be occupied should be occupied. And the fact that it's not is a failing of society and of government. That's not idealism, that's just logic. If someone's not paying the bills, how much money are we losing? Because that's ultimately what's it about. Like, it's about money. Here we go. Here we go.